Hi folks, my name's Tony. Welcome to my shop. Haven't really given it a name yet. This is my first video. Been turning for a couple years now, off and on. I got into turning a couple years ago when my father decided he was going to get rid of some of his old tools, and he gave me a lathe. I've since upgraded a lot, but I've upgraded to a Central Machinery lathe. It so far has done me pretty well. I've been able to turn out some pens, some different really cool things. I'm going to invite you to come along and go through this as we take this 100-year-old block of barnwood that came from a barn that's getting remodeled in northern Illinois. A friend of mine up there, whose name's also Tony, is going through and making that place into a real beautiful vineyard. So I thought we'll go ahead and take some of this wood that he had that was scrap, and we'll try and turn some really cool things. So I got to talking to him. I was like, you know, you also like to have pretty cool things that are kind of unusual. How about let's try and make you some shot glasses? So we talked about it, and I took him a couple prototypes, and we kind of settled on something that I had seen a fellow YouTuber do, which was a whiskey barrel type shot glass. Don't know if you guys can see that really well. You'll see a little bit more throughout the video, but we took that 100-year-old piece of wood, we turned it, or we cut it up, milled it up into chunks about like this. I had a few hiccups along the way. We tried making a cylinder, putting it in the chuck, and that way we could pull multiple out of the same cylinder. Had some problems with that. So what we decided on was we cut them into these 4-inch chunks, put a tenon on them, stick it in the chuck, and then bore it out to the proper depth. So used Forstner bit, got the proper depth on it, and now what you're going to see is going from this chunk of wood into this shot glass. We treat everything with food safe finish. That way he can actually use these and not just have them on a shelf. I've already got a few of them in different stages, as you can see, ready to be finished. But this is my process. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, hit like, subscribe, and watch me on other videos when we turn some pens and some different really cool things. Thank you. Alright, just shade over 2 inches. That's good enough for government work. So now what we're going to do is, since we've got the initial thickness done, Now we're going to mark out where our bands are going to be. I'm going to leave them a little bit proud of the 2-inch surface. So I'm going to mark them, and then I'm going to take the rest of the surface down to about 1.95, just enough so that I can tell that there's a difference, and then we'll go from there. So I have one that was one of my prototypes, and that's what I'm using to set up my markup. Okay, so what I've done is I've marked where both the bands will be and where the bottom end of it is, so I know where to taper down to. As you can see, this front end, I've already tapered some, and that was because I had a tear out. With the editing, I don't know if you'll see the tear out or not, but I had a pretty significant tear out, so I went in and took it down to see if this blank was going to be usable. So let's go ahead and get to turning. Okay, so we have the basic shape of it done. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a quick sanding. I'm going to hit it with some 150 on up. I'm not going to bore you through all of it. I'll show you a little bit of it. But when we come back, I'll be working on coloring these bands up and coloring the wood up. And we'll go from there. So there, it's all cleaned up. Next, what we're going to do is something that I've been experimenting with. We're actually going to burn the wood a little bit to bring out some of the grain gently while it's still here on the lathe. And it should bring out the green a little bit. I'm not worried about going a little bit overboard because I'm still going to sand it a little bit more, which is going to take some of it down a little bit. May see it may seem a little bit dark to you, and that's fine, but once you see the end product, you'll know what I was aiming for. So that's all of the burning part that I'm going to do. Go ahead and knock it down again with some sandpaper just to get rid of some of the excess burn, and then I'm going to color up the bands. Perfect. So let's color up the bands a little bit. I'm just using well, hold on a second. Just using a very simple paintbrush from Walmart, a little bit of paint. Everything that's on here is a little bit food safe. I initially was going to have the bands be black, and that was my intent, but I'm kind of a goofy sometimes, and I wasn't paying attention, and I actually picked up what they call pavement. I was still thinking, well, pavement's black. No, it's not. It's gray. So the bands are gray now. This is the only time-consuming portion of this. Okay, so here's what the wood looks like. Now the bands have been painted and the green's been burned a little bit and sanded down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a food safe finish. It's same thing that you put on a butcher block. It's got mineral oils in it, wax, and it's just to seal the wood up a little bit. When this is used, it's not supposed to be dunked in a dishwasher or left in a tub of water. It's supposed to be rinsed out with some warm soapy water, clean, and put on the shelf to dry. And ready to be used again with best whiskey or whatever else strikes your fancy. So when you come back, you'll see me put the finish on it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and part it off. So we went a little too far. Not a problem. Go ahead and pull this chunk of wood out of here.
Seated pretty good. We'll go ahead and just clean the bottom edge up a little bit, finish it off.
So we got the bottom end of it cleaned off pretty well. We'll just go ahead and apply the same food safe finish that we did to the rest of the shot glass. And we'll call this one done. So there you have it. One little shot glass. Looks like a barrel. It's not the greatest, but you know, I'm not a professional. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know, like I said, I've done some things in this video that most professional wood turners wouldn't do, or strongly suggest you shouldn't do. It's part of learning. I've not had anybody come in and teach me how to do it, teach me the different types of chisels. I've learned primarily by watching my fellow YouTubers. And just over the years of picking things up here and there, and sadly, a little bit of common sense. I know if it was common, we wouldn't have to call it common sense. But it has allowed me to turn out some pretty cool things, like these shot glasses. Don't miss some of my upcoming videos when I'm turning some pins. I've really gotten into doing some segmented pins. I have a cigar tube that I'm going to be turning out of this blank that I've put the thin blue line in. For my friends that know me will understand why that means a lot to me. I also have one that me and my daughter will be doing. It's a fountain pen with her school colors segmented into it. So look forward to the videos. If you like it, go ahead and click like down there, subscribe, and you'll get to see all my upcoming videos. Thank you.